You don't want to do anything in this world. You're a renunciant, external renunciant. And or you are a general person living in the world doing works. You'll marry, you'll have kids, you'll work and everything. Okay, now both, he says, have to learn meditation. He says. So Lord is introducing meditation as one of the highest yajnas, as one of the highest techniques of attaining a yogi state, a state of being detached from this world, getting out of this world. So this is the crux of this chapter. So let us look at this. Lord says, Sri Bhagavan what is telling Arjuna, Anashrita karma phalam. Ana ashrita. Ashrita is to be taking shelter in. So don't take shelter in what? Karma phalam. Karma phala is the results of actions. Why does he say this? Remember in the 3rd chapter we did this? Because in the 4th chapter also he says the same thing. He says, I am the ruler. I caused everything to happen. You are acting according to my directions and you're a cog in the wheel. You're asked to work. You've not come here to earn something for yourself. You come here as a part of the massive cosmic play. It's a Yajna Chakra. So it is a simulation. We have come to act according to it was planned, how it was planned. So we don't have any right, nothing belongs to us. We just come here to take part and go. So don't again be attached to phala, he says. Anashrita karma phalam. Karyam karma karotiyah. That person who does karya and karma. Karya is explained as actions. Paramahansa Yogananda says actions which are done dutifully, like which are important to be done. Karmam is spiritual actions. Different authors will explain it differently. Karyam, they say, is something like, whatever natural instincts, like food, you have to eat food, you have to bathe in this. Karyam, and karma is regular work. Like, you have to earn something to make a living, that one. Or whatever you are, a carpenter, a teacher, whatever you are. And some people explain, Paramahansa Yogananda takes it to the other level. He says that karyam is activity, normal activity that you're doing. You're a doctor, engineer, whatever, software engineer, whatever, you have to do that. Karmam is a set of activities in addition to the karyam that you do in order to progress faster, to evolve faster. He says something very fascinating. He says that whether you want to do it or not, you have to do it. Because this is a war which has to be won. You have to get out of this place. You can't live here eternally. In creation, you are actually a being who's come from out of creation. You'll never be at home in creation. You have to be rising above creation. So that is the idea of Gita, which is also called as self-realization, and which is the fundamental goal of every Sanatana Dharmi from ancient times. And only we knew it compared to the other Western civilizations. Even they don't even know it even now. So our entire civilization is, built upon this self-realization. Western civilization is not. It's on an external, karma phala ashrita civilization, not anashrita. So then Lord says, Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. He is a yogi and a sannyasi. So basically he equated both of them. Whether you're wearing kavi or you're at the home, it doesn't matter. You should not think of the fruits of actions. And you have to do your karya and karma. Naturally, because even if you're a yogi, even if you're living in the Himalayan Tandak as a sannyasi, you have to eat food. You have to bathe, otherwise the body is going to rot. You have to wash your hair, right? So you have to do karya and karma. Na niragnir, na cha akriyaha. So akriya is not doing any kriya or activity. Niragni, Agni is fire. People normally keep the fire, no? The Agnihotras, the kind of renunciates, they always like Dhuni, they used to keep like Shirdi Sai Baba. That's a mark that you're a renunciant. So Nat Yogi, Nat Pantis, everyone, even our Yogi Adityanath is a Agnihotra Brahmins. Some people even to this day keep it. The fire is a symbolic feeling that you have given everything into the fire. You have renounced everything. So that a sannyasi has to have it. So Lord says, not by giving up the fire, because keeping the fire is very difficult for sannyasi. You have to always have something to burn. And then for a person who's in the world, you have to work. You can't give up work or give up fire and say, I am a sannyasi or I am a karma yogi. Then Lord says, Yam sannyasam iti prahu. Prahu is no. Okay, or I'm saying this. Or they say, Yam sannyasi, whatever is sannyasa, iti, that one, no, yogam tam vidhi pandava. That itself is yoga. Whether you renounce or you don't. That is why in ancient times, renunciation was not given much importance. If you look at the time period of Rama and all, when Rama went to the forest, he met so many yogis. All were married. Vasishta, Vishwamitra, everyone is married. Much married. Sometimes Vishwamitra, like for example, 2 times is married. They may or may not be living with their wives, but they have gone through that marriage, had kids, the Grahasthashram is over. Bharadwaja, Kapila Muni, anybody, all of them married. So that marriage, having children is not, having it or not having it is not so important. That's what Lord Krishna is saying here. Yam sannyasam iti prahu yogam tam vidhi pandava. Na here asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kashchana. That says asanyasta, like just like, not giving up anything. Sankalpa is mental giving up. So Lord here says in the next line that basically to be a sannyasi or a yogi, the renunciation should be mental. The renunciation should be mental. And when it is mental, it will also display itself in the physical activities. Then Lord introduces what is the difference exactly. He says Aruruksho. Aruruksho is one who is climbing. For a climber, for the Muni who is a climber, meaning you're still learning. Karma Karanam Aruruksho Munir Yogam Karma Karanam Uchyate. So for him, you have to work. You and I have to work. Then who can sit? Yoga Rudasya. Yoga Aruda, one who's attached in yoga. To whom? Brahma. Who's united with Brahma. Tasyeva. For him, Shamah Karanam Uchyate. So for him, he is in peace. He can sit quietly. Meaning he can give up his works. So only those person can give up works. Like Shirdi Sai Baba was not working. Just giving example. Because he's a yoga ruda. He's already attained that state. So Lord Krishna is saying you have to keep working. Then Lord says, Yada hi na indriya arteshu na karmasu anushajjati. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga aruda tada uchyate. So, yada hi na indriyarteshu. Indriyarteshus are objects of the indriya, whatever the pleasures are there. Karmas anushajjate. Anushajjate is to follow, or to be attached, or to follow, to hold on to. Karmas anushajjate. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga rudasta dochyate. Who's a yoga ruda? He explains. Like a Shirdi Sai Baba example we took. Who is he? One who is not attached. In your mind, Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi. He has no personal motivation. Like he is not wanting money. So, but still he works. He's not saying he may give up work, but he can give up work. So he doesn't do it for his Indriya or Indriya pleasures. So if he's begging, Sai Baba is begging in a begging bowl and he's eating his food, not because he's feeling hungry. He's a yoga ruda. So why is he doing it? There is some other deeper purpose. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. So you should not be feeling that hunger, sleep, and thirst and things like that. And neither are you attached to these activities. And in your mind, you don't have any attachment. You don't have any desires, personal desires or not. Personal goals and personal ambitions, goals and desires, which are pleasure seeking. Not loka sangraha personal goals. Remember, there's a difference, sarva sankalpa. There can be a sankalpa. For like Modi is having a sankalpa to help uplift the world, uplift India, uplift Indian, the whole continent. So he is, you can't say, oh, give up this sankalpa. No, it's for loka sangraha. It's a yogi's activity. But if he says, oh, I want to have fun, I want to accumulate 10 crores rupees, because in my retirement, I can relax in an AC room. So that is, sankalpa, one who has sankalpa, internal sankalpa. So there are what sankalpa you take also, the intention matters. Can you continue from the fifth one? What is it? You can
Yes.
chant, yeah, chant a fifth, sixth, seventh, three,
Fifth, five, six, seven, eight.
a seventh only.
Okay, Guru. उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य केनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत् जितात्मानः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानावमानयोः. जय गुरु.
Thank you, Di. So now Lord says, what you have to do to get this shama. Shama is peace, that union with God, or that freedom from all the works, to become a yoga ruda. So what you do? Uddharet atmana atmanam. So this is where Lord uses atma two times in the same context. So this shows he's using the word soul and ego both in the same context. So he's saying the ego is coming out of the soul, basically. A part of the soul, a reflection of the soul, which is created to, it's an agent created to or deal with this world. It's not the soul. So now when we are talking and listening, it's the ego who's listening. It is not the soul. So we should get that straight. When the soul is completely awake, then we are in Brahma Tattva. Then we are in a totally different kind of a being. That is what Krishna is. That is what Krishna wants us to become. Now we are sending an agent. It is like the soul is the king of the land, and he wants to identify what is happening, what's the problem which is happening in Manipur. So he will send an agent there. So why is it happening? What's problem? That this agent will go and he will write a report and come back and tell the king. So it's like that. The king is the soul. He won't go. He will observe from distance. The agent will go and report. Now, what happens sometimes is when the agent goes to that place where there's a riot or some problem is there, say in a village, so he may act like the king, right? He may get filled with ahankara. Ahamkara means feeling that I am the owner. He may say, I am the king because I'm the king's agent. And the people of the village will respect him saying, you're the king. And that's what happens in real life. The agent of the soul, which is sitting inside, the ego, he takes over the ruling of the body and he does whatever he wants. I like only ice creams, he says. That's it, I'm going to eat. Who is doing it? Not the king, the agent is doing. So that is why the body starts deteriorating. He gets diabetes and starts getting deteriorating. Or the agent may say, I'm not going to work. I'm going to put up my hands. It's too tough and I'm going to sit. So what's going to happen? Then depression, anxiety, and all will set in. Or the agent may get extremely attracted to something which is not good for the soul. So that is how the agent works. That agent is also called Atma by Bhagwan Krishna. So it says Uddharet Atmana. So udhar karo, meaning uplift karo. Kisko? Atma ko. Who? This Atma is the lower self, the ego. Atmanam, using the higher Atma. Na Atmanam avasadayet. Don't let the higher self be degraded. Avasadayat is degraded. So the ego can do such things that the soul will have to leave the body. Addiction, for example. It can get drug addiction. The body will become so uninhabitable, it can't achieve anything, it can't fulfill its purpose. Finally, the soul will leave. So the body will get degraded. So don't let the um, soul be degraded. Atmanam avasadayat. Atma eva hi atmana bandhu. The ego should be the friend of the higher self. They both should work in tandem. What the soul says inside. Paramahansa Yogananda says there's a little voice called conscience. It comes in flashes of intuition when we are sitting silently. Look, what you're doing is wrong. You must not do that. It's the voice of the soul. But suddenly some large voice comes and says, no, I will reason this out. This is right what I'm doing. So that is the big voices of the ego. Fascinating, isn't it? So Lord says, so when we can, in silence, in prayer, in contemplation, we can hear that voice. The purer the mind becomes, that voice becomes stronger. The soul's voice becomes stronger, and man starts awakening. So that is the soul. So there are actually two beings there. So don't Atmena bandhuhu, be like a friend. Atma eva ripu atmanaha. So the Atma, the lower Atma, the ego itself, ripu means enemy, can act like an enemy. So do that. Let uddhar karo. अपना soul का awareness लाके उद्धार करो. Don't waste. Let the lower self, wander here and there. Lord is saying. Then Lord says, bandhuhu, friend. Ripu means enemy. Bandhu means friend. Atma atmanah. Atma atmanah. Tasya. Yena atma eva atmana jitah. So this is the second line is very important. Yena atmaha atmena jitah means, so if the mind, like through meditation, for example, or through contemplation, or to prayer in silence, has learned to win over the higher self, it has identified that there is a soul who's speaking within me, jitaha. So then it becomes a friend. Bandhu atma atmana tasya, for him. Yena atma eva atmana jitaha. Then he says, anatmanastu. Anatmanatu, S is a sandhi word. Anatmanatu shatrutve. When the mind has not identified the show, Jita is to conquer, but there's no conquering here. You're just uniting, or you know of the existence of the higher being inside. So you will act like an enemy. Why? Vartate atma eva shatruvat. And the bigger atma will also act like your enemy when you don't know each other. Right? So Lord is saying, जीत लो, एक दूसरे को जीत लो, एक दूसरे को पहचान लो अंदर. There are two beings here, especially the little self. Sit in meditation. Don't think you're doing everything. Sit and look for him. Let him speak. So this is what the Lord explains. Look at him within. Then he says, Jitatmana prashantasya. So one's mind, when it is conquered and the higher self and the lower self are working in tandem, prashantasya, he becomes peaceful. Otherwise, there's a lot of anxiety, commotion in the mind, restlessness. Parama atma samahitaha. Because when the moment the soul's awareness is identified by the ego, Paramatma is also very approachable. Paramatma samahita. He's holding on to that channel which unites you with Paramatma, Parabrahma. Because just behind the soul is Brahma. Soul is a part of Brahma, Paramatma. And ego is a part of the soul, right? Or the reflection of the soul. So you get filled with samahitaha, established. Sthita, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Tata, Mana, Apamana. So when you're filled with this kind of peace, external things don't matter so much. It won't hurt you so much. The body's pains don't hurt. Shita, Ushna, Sukha, and Dukkha, happiness and sadness. Mana, somebody's honoring you or making ninda of you. You're not going to be so reactive. You'll see very peaceful people. You make fun of them, you degrade them, they don't really react. How they attain that? Through maybe through karma, jnana, bhakti, whatever, they have attained it. So then you can conquer this world easily. Basically, identification of the soul. Now Lord explains, how do you identify that the soul is there? Or how do you try to touch him within? How do you become a friend of the soul? He kept saying, become the friend of the soul. Allow the soul to talk to you, address each other. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, if you have not met yourself, you have not met a very important person in your life. If you're always spending time with others, you have not spent time by yourself, you'll never have met yourself. Then you're eternally anxious, eternally stressed. So one has to learn to be with yourself. Okay. So Didi, can you please chant for us from, you can chant 10, 11, 12, This is he's saying how to identify the soul now or become united with the soul. Can you chant till 15, Didi?
Yes, Jai Guru. ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टास्मकाञ्चनः सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निरासीरपरिग्रहः शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम् तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये समं कायशिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन् प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभिः ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्तासीत मत्परः युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति जय गुरु Jai Gurudev, I
Thank
am
you.
going out.
Yes.
I may not be able to chant the next slokas.
Don't worry. Don't.
Jai
Don't.
Guru, Jai Guru.
Very good. So we'll continue now. So Lord says, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. Now, how do you reach that state where you know that, look, there is a soul existing and I have to talk to him inside? How do you do that? Lord is saying, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. Jnana is knowledge. Vijnana here is Brahma Jnana. So we had discussed this. Somebody called Raghavendra, Mr. Raghavendra had questioned this, saying, what is a Vijnana? Vijnana is distinction, something which is very uniquely different from Jnana. So Jnana Vijnana Tripta Atma, one who is very happy and satisfied in Jnana and Vijnana. No, knowledge and learnt knowledge, or knowledge and realized knowledge. Kutastha. Kutastha is the Kutastha Chaitanya, which is the Agnya Chakra. You can say that, or you can say also Kutastha also means something which is hidden. Okay, or somebody who is very somewhere sitting quietly, undisturbed. Vijita Indriyaha. So when you're sitting undisturbed, you can rise above your Indriya senses. Yukta iti uchyate. He becomes yukta, united. Iti uchyate. He is said to be united. Sama loshtra ashma kanchana. Very soon he starts looking at lostra, that is stones, ashma, lostra, pebbles. It's somebody says it's ashma, says sand, somebody says it's stones. Doesn't matter. Some people say it's earth and stone. So different words, it's usable. Kanchana is gold. So basically, external things become not so important for you. Gold, land, that is not becomes not so important. So how do you do that? By sitting quietly. This is the advice, sitting in silence. Kutastha Vijitendriya, winning over the Indriyas. Then what happens slowly, winning over the Indriyas? Suhrin Mitra Udasina. Suhrin, you'll start becoming a well-wisher. Goodness comes into you for everyone. Mitra, friends. Then Mitra, Ari, Udasina. Ari is enemy and Mitra is friend. Udasina is people who are sitting above the rest, wise people, intelligent people. Madhyastha, people who are doing that and this in between everything. Madhyastha. Dveshya, bandhushu, people who hate you. Bandhus are friends and relatives. Sadhus, pious people. Apecha papeshu, sinners, murderers, people, bad people. Sama buddhir vishishyate. You will start attaining a kind of a buddhi which is very quiet and which has a well-wisherly feeling towards anything and everything. Nice to have that, right? So how will it happen? Kutastha Vijitendriya. So then Lord elaborates, sitting in silence, trying to win over that Atma, trying to see my Atma. That is our duty. Whether you're a karma yogi, whoever you are, or a sannyasi. Lord then says, yogi yunjita satatam. You become a yogi. Yunjita satatam. Yunjita is trying to control what? Senses, outgoing mind, restlessness. Yunjita satatam constantly. Atmanam rahasi stitaha. Sitting silently, rahasi in a basically hidden, secluded space. Atmanam, you should keep yourself in a secluded space. Ekaki, alone. Yata chitta atmaha. Controlling the chitta with your atma. Now, this chitta is a very fanciful faculty, it keeps having feelings. I like, I dislike, I like, I dislike. It's born out of Prakriti, chitta. Chitta, we can discuss this at the end. Chitta, what it is? It comes as a part of the Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is the part of that quiescent nature which is born out of the reflection of Parama Purusha, or Sat Parabrahma, which is called Mother Nature, Prakriti. So, part of that within each one of us we have, it's called Chitta, and it's quite fanciful and restless. So, this Chitta, it's also very loving and kind, also, but it is also fanciful. So, it keeps dancing around and restless like nature, ever changing. So, to learn to control your Chitta, yatna karke, you have to try to control. Nirashi aparigraha. So you become free from desires and attaining too many possessions. The Lord says, how do you do this? Shuchau deshe pratishtapya. In a very clean place, pratishtapya. Say, seat yourself. Sthiram, in a very quiet and steady place. Asanam. Your asana also should be sthira, the way you're sitting, the place which should not be wobbly. Atmanam na atmanaha na ati uchitram na ati nicham. Don't sit very high or very low, because very low you will be very close to earth. So snakes and all that, or things, creepy crawlies, cockroaches, rats, or mosquitoes or whatever. And also Paramahansa Yogananda says the earth currents can be detrimental when for the body which is sitting at rest. So it pulls away current. So you keep it a little high, but not very high that you fall off. Chaila ajina kusha utaram. Uttaram is on top of it. So you cover whatever you're sitting with. Chaila cloth. Ajina is some kind of skin. That's to prevent the leakage of your electricity into the body. That doesn't mean you have to kill an animal. Typically, the yogis used a dead animal skin just to go looking, or otherwise, today you can use also silk, because silk comes from animals only. Kosha. Kosha is a kind of a grass which is used in prayers and meditation and in yajna. These might have having some medicinal properties, definitely. Use these and sit on it. Because those times they didn't have, Duroflex or, whatever, sleep well mattresses. See, today we can sit on that also, no problem. Then Lord says, Tatra ekagram manakritva. Mana, mind, which is keeping on moving here, their thoughts. Next, what to cook, what to do, what to eat. This go on, right, in the mind. Even if as we get older also it continues. What should I do? We act as if we're going to live eternally. So we'll get something done. My yoga teacher is to say this, very interesting, is to say that, we build houses for 100 years. We want the best material. You may not live 100 years. So, but then you want the best material, you want the best paint, you want the best stone, you want the best plaster. What's the point? It's anyway going to go. So don't focus so much. Paramahansa Yogananda writes this in his lessons. He says, don't clean the house so much that you get so restless and anxious. It's going to get back to the same shape. And so, tatra ekagram manakritva. Keep the mind quiet, calm. Yata chitta indriya kriyaha. Hold on to the chitta and the indriyas. They're all related, right? The senses in the chitta. Hold on to it. Upavishyasane yunjad. Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye. Upavishyasana is sitting on that asana. Asana is sitting. Yunjat Yogam. Practicing yoga and uniting Atma Vishuddhaye. Purifying the mind. Like this. So how do you sit? Lord says, Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. Keep the body straight. Balanced. Samam. Kaya is body. Shiro Grivam. Shira. Griva means neck and Shira. So body, neck and head should be straight. Meaning the spine should be erect. Dharayanna achalam stiraha. Dharayan, holding on. Achalam, not moving. Stiraha, still. Sampreksha nasikagram. Now, this is a very interesting quote. Nasikagra. Agra means beginning. Many authors say in Agra means tip of the nose. Lord Krishna said in the beginning of the nose. That is focusing on the Agnya Chakra, where we wear the bindi. Logically makes sense. Many yogis say tip of the nose, which is not a correct interpretation. Sampreksha gazing at the Nasikagram. Agrabhaga is the beginning. Dishashcha na avalokayan. Don't look here and there. This is. So this is how you learn to become calm and then continue your work in a calm manner. Then Lord says, Prashanta Atma, Vigata Bhi, Brahmachari Vritistita, Manasamyamya Machitto Yukta Asita Matparaha. So very soon you become, or you are, or a yogi becomes, or he is, Prashant, peaceful, Atma mind, your mind, ego becomes peaceful, restlessness stops, feelings start big. Feelings are like waves. The chitta is like a wave, it keeps moving and moving. It becomes silent. Vigata bhi. Bhi is bhaya, fear. Fear comes down. Brahmachari vrittistita. Brahmachari here, typically people explain it as celibacy. But here Lord Krishna doesn't necessarily mean brahmachari celibacy. He says that one who is looking towards Brahma. Chari is to move and Brahma is upwards. This also signifies the prana is moving upwards. Doesn't mean that you're celibate. Based on very this one shloka, many people say, oh, this is only for yogis. No need sixth chapter. No need sixth chapter. Don't have to meditate. It's an easy way out. But Bhagavan Krishna very clearly has said, everyone has to learn to meditate. And today that's why meditation, as the yoga is increasing, children are becoming smarter, higher beings are coming up. We're in ascending Dwapara Yuga, so becoming highly intellectual. So this is all meditation, yoga and all is coming to the fore again. So he says, you focus on God, move your prana towards God. Sthitaha. Mana samyamya. Control the mind when it goes here, there, here, there. Try to control, focus on something, focus on light, focus on Brahma, like that. Matchittaha. Matchitta is me, on me you meditate. On Lord Krishna himself. Yukta asita matparaha. Keep me as your goal. The para. Me as the final goal. Keep me, meditate on me only. Basically, Lord is saying, come to me. So Lord says, Yunjan evam. Keeping a mind like this, Yunjan is yoked or held on tightly. Evam sada atmanam. Controlling, learning to teach the ego to be under control. Yogi niyata manasaha. A yogi becomes a disciplined, his manasa, mind. Mana in Sanskrit means the faculty which controls the senses. It is different from the word mind in English. Mind is a total word, complete word. Mana is only a part. So Lord is very clearly saying mana should be controlled, senses should be controlled. Niyata manasa, control the manasa. Shantim nirvana paramam. Then alone you can attain nirvana, that higher state of nirvana, liberation. Paramam, the supreme, mat samstam adhigachati. Your mind that's controlled can think of me constantly, absorbed. It will get into nirvana state, peaceful. It will come to my place, mat samstam adhigachati. It will come. So that is how it is. So we will now close. 15 is enough. This is quite heavy already, how to meditate. In the next 16, 17, we have 10 minutes time. 16, 17. Okay. Okay, we'll do till 19 because this is very beautiful. Oh, all are so beautiful. And then Lord is saying, when you're controlling your mind like this, how do you live? He says, Natyashnatastu yogosti, nachaikantamanashnataha, nachati swapnashilasya, jagrito naiva charjuna. See? Na ati ashnataha, don't overeat. Ashna is to eat. So, yoga, if you're planning to do something like meditation, don't overeat. Asti, for him, you won't get yoga. Nacha ekantam anashnata. Ekantam here is not alone, but it means completely. Anashnata. not at all eating, completely starving yourself. Don't act like that also. Nacha ati swapnashilasya. Swapnashila is always dreaming. Don't dream too much, or basically don't sleep too much. Jagrito nacha eva cha Arjuna. Also, not one who never sleeps, eternally awake. Not he sleeps only 2 3 hours. That's also not very good for doing yoga. So, yoga, again, from this shloka, we understand meditation, practicing this kind of meditation is for people in the households who are karma yogis. Otherwise, he would have told the sannyasi, it's okay, you don't have to bother, sit and meditate. You don't have any means of earning your livelihood. So you can meditate all night. But here he is very clearly saying to be very balanced. Then he says, Yuktahara viharasya yuktacheshtasya karmasu युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. Lord says, Yukta Ahara Vihara. Balanced Ahar khao. Vihara. Relax and enjoy yourself also a little bit. Yukta Chestasi. In a balanced manner, work. Don't overwork, don't underwork. Karmasu. Like that, you do your karmas. So, again, it is for a karma yogi. You see? So, don't go under the impression that Lord Krishna never said, meditate, don't meditate, or you don't have to learn meditate, you're in the meditation because in the world. He's very clearly mentioning you have to do your karma to be balanced. Yukta swapna avabodhasya. Balanced way you sleep and avabodha, be awake in a balanced way. Yogo bhavati dukkha. Then this kind of yogic meditation will remove all your mental anxiety, restlessness, and tension. Beautiful, isn't it? And even if you look at a person sitting and meditating, Buddha's image, you look at Ramakrishna Paramahansa meditating, Vivekananda's eyes closed, anybody's eyes closed, it looks so calming, right? Which means the soul is prodding you. Why don't you do that? It's so calm. Everyone wants to do that. And the soul, that is the original desire of the soul. Then Lord says, Yada vinitam chittam atmanyevavatishtate nispraha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tadha. So Lord says, Yada, when viniyatam, yatam, yatna karna, all this controlling, holding on, yatam chittam, again the mind here, the fanciful faculty, which is the feeling. Atmani eva avastitha. The chitta comes under the subjugation and under of the atma, the soul. It gets used to being controlled. Like a little child which is disciplined. Before discipline, it's it'll act haywire, throw things, play around, dirty, everything. Then the mother teaches, don't dirty, don't bring the mud inside. You play outside, wash your hands and come in, wash your legs and come in. So things like that. So discipline the chitta. Atmani eva avastita. Get it used to being situated in the Atma. Nisprihaha sarva kamebhya. Then the chitta will stop looking outwards and looking for kama, 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 desire fulfillment, desire fulfillment. I want that, I want this, I want to eat that ice cream, I want to go there. All this kama will reduce. Yearnings will reduce of the chitta. Yukta iti uchyate tada. Then he starts, then he's called as a, uchyate is called or spoken of as a yukta, united one. What is united here? The chitta or the ego basically is united to the soul. Chitta and ego are the same basically. Lord says, Yatha dipo nivatastho ningate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. Lord says, Yatha deepaha nivatasta. Vata means air, deepa means lamp. Yatha, just like a lamp which you keep in a place without wind. Na ingate, does not move. The upama smrita, sopama smrita. So upama is like giving an example. In order to give an upama.